I have to be honest, when I hear this gospel, I wonder what's more miraculous, that the disciples have the ability in the name of Christ to cast out demons and tread upon snakes and serpents, or that a whopping 72 of them agreed to go in the first place. I mean, Jesus doesn't exactly paint a pretty picture here of this mission. Take no sandals, no money bags, no possessions. Don't greet anyone along the way. I send you out like lambs among wolves. I wouldn't exactly be signing up for this adventure. And really, he could have told them other things. He could have told them how full of joy they would be at the completion of this mission. He could have said something that would have aroused in them a greater desire to set out on this adventure, how they would experience this fullness of the authority of Christ that was present in them. But instead, he laid out all the challenges and difficulties that they would face. And while we might think that this is a bad strategy for soliciting volunteers, 72 of them went. Now maybe he started with 1,000 and kind of whittled down, but the fact is that 72 went. 72 agreed to go on this mission that they knew would be a tremendous challenge. And this is fascinating to me because in nearly every parish across the world, there are committee meetings and staff meetings and council meetings where those who work for the church try and figure out, beating their heads against the wall, how to make ministry in the church more attractive and how to convince people to get connected to the lives of their parishes. And so we entice with pizza, we promise a sense of fulfillment, we prophesy this kind of conversion in people's lives. We say we will babysit for your children, we'll give you a discount on your tuition, we will give you cookies and coffee, and we will mow your lawn, Deacon Jerry will wash your car, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, just come and be a part of the youth group, or come and lecture at Mass, or come and, for God's sake, give your CPC pledge card, whatever. We will do anything. And it's so interesting to me how we seem to have changed the method of Jesus. We have adopted this method of compulsion rather than this way of attraction and leaving it up to Christ to really draw people in. This is a big question for me and for all of us, I think. Why do we feel the need to use a method for gathering and sending disciples other than the method of Jesus? When the disciples returned, rejoicing at all that they were able to do, Jesus said to them, "Do not rejoice because the spirits are subject to you, but rejoice because your names are written in heaven." Your names are written in heaven. Not that you've done great things, but that you belong to the Father. Not that your life is important because of how good you are, how talented you are, but because you have a destiny that is complete in a relationship with the Father in heaven, that your name is written in heaven. Not that your name is written in the parish directory. Not that your face shows up in the message. Not that you're listed on a bunch of parish committees, but that your name is written in heaven. Friends, can we believe, can we fathom what this means for us? Our names are written in heaven. That because we were claimed in the waters of baptism as members of God's family, that our name is written in heaven, so that when we pass from this world to the next, God, with that booming voice, will announce before all the angels and saints that this person is here. And he will announce our name, because our names are written in heaven. And Jesus says this is the motivation for ministry. Not because you feel guilty because the priest keeps hounding you. but because your name is written in heaven. And that we somehow fulfill that mission, and we somehow move towards that destiny of hearing our name cried out in heaven by drawing close to the church here on earth. Because what we do here is not disconnected from the life of the church or from the life of the church in heaven. Every time we gather around this altar and celebrate the Eucharist, it's not an isolated event. When we receive from the body and blood of Christ from this altar, we are participating in a banquet that is happening in heaven. So that even now, though we can't see them, we are surrounded by the saints and angels. Something incredible happens here. And if we want to hear our name, if we want to live that claim that God has on us through baptism, then we will draw closer and closer to the altar, where we are united with God's people forever in His heavenly kingdom. What a glorious gift we are given in the life of the church. And this is why we are called to be one of the 72. You know, today we celebrate, tomorrow we celebrate the independence of our nation. And every day there are men and women who go out and lay down their lives for the sake of this nation. Not for the sake of George Washington or Abraham Lincoln, but for the sake of their brothers and sisters, their family members, those of us who live the freedom that they defend. And if they go out and defend this nation, if they're willing to lay down their lives for something in the end, when God calls us all home, will inevitably pass away, how much more should we go out to announce something that will never end? How much more should we be announcing the good news that the victory has already been won, that we have been claimed by our God, and He has sent His Son, who has died and risen and saved us from our sin. Be one of the 72. Be someone who is willing to go out and announce the good news of salvation, not counting the cost, not waiting to hear what kind of reward we will get. But go out because God has claimed you for Himself. Go out because you belong to Him. Go out because there are so many who need to belong to Him, who deep down want to belong to Him and to be a part of His body. Be one of the 72 and trust that your reward will be great in heaven.